She looked out onto the horizon. The ocean was as blue as ink. The sun had settled into the sky an hour or so ago. Seagulls chirped sharply as they dove and rose over the sea. Nina could see the waves were good. A clear swell was moving in toward Little Doom. She watched a set come in, watched them go unridden. It seemed like a tragedy. Those waves hitting the break all by themselves, no one there to claim them. She would claim them. She would let the ocean heal her like she always had. She may have been in a house she never would have chosen. She may have been left by a man she could not even remember why she'd married, but the Pacific was her ocean. Malibu was her home. What Brandon had never understood was that the glory of living in Malibu was not living in luxury, but raw nature. The Malibu of Nina's youth had been more rural than urbane, the rolling hills filled with dirt paths and humble shacks. What Nina loved about her hometown was how ants found their way to your kitchen counters, pelicans sometimes shit on the ledge of your deck, clumps of horse manure sat along the sides of the unpaved roads, left there by neighbors riding their horses to the market. Nina had lived on this small stretch of coast her entire life, and she understood she could do little to prevent it from changing. She had seen it grow from humble ranches to middle-class neighborhoods. Now it was becoming a land of oversized mansions on the beach. But with vistas this beautiful, it had been only a matter of time before the filthy rich showed up. The only real surprise was that Nina had married one of them, and now she owned this slice of the world, she supposed, whether she liked it or not. In a moment, Nina would turn around and walk back into the house. She would put on her swimsuit and head right back to this spot where she would descend the side of the cliff and grab her board from the shed she kept on the sand. But right that second, Nina was thinking only of the party tonight, having to face all those people who knew her husband had left her. She didn't move. She wasn't ready to turn around. Instead, Nina Riva stood on the edge of the cliff she'd never wanted and looked out onto the water she wished was closer, and for the first time in her quiet life, screamed into the wind. "Stay here." Jay Riva hopped out of his CJ-8, jumped the 5-foot gate, walked down the gravel drive, and knocked on the door of his older sister's house. No response. "Nina!" he called out. "You up?" The family resemblance was striking. He was slender and tall like she was, but more powerful than Reedy. His brown eyes, long lashes, and short, rumpled brown hair made him the kind of handsome that breeds entitlement. With his board shorts, faded t-shirt, sunglasses, and flip-flops, he looked like what he was, a championship surfer. Jay knocked again, slightly louder. Still nothing. He was tempted to pound on the door until Nina got out of bed, because he knew eventually she'd come to the door. But now was not the time to be a dick to Nina. Instead, Jay turned around, put his Wayfarers back on, and walked back to his Jeep. "It's just you and me this morning," he said. "We should wake her up," Kit said. "She'd want in on these waves." Tiny Kit. Jay started the car and began his 3-point turn, careful to make sure their sticks stayed put in the back. "She watches the same forecast we do," he said. "She knows about the swell. She can take care of herself." Kit considered this and looked out the window. More accurately, she looked out where a window might have been if the car had doors. Kit was slim and small and tightly built, all sinew and tanned skin. She had long brown hair, lightened with lemon juice and sunshine, freckles across the bridge of her nose and onto the apples of her cheeks, green eyes, full lips. She looked like a miniature version of her sister without any of the grace and ease. Beautiful, but maybe a bit awkward. Awkward, but maybe beautiful.